Hello everyone, my name is Corazar, and welcome back to Starsector Angry Bees, where I am making my way back from delivering a nuke to some terrorists. Not in the way that you should deliver them to terrorists, but, you know, we had a deal. We're heading back to Galatia to continue the Galatia Academy Reopen the Gates quest. And we're going to go visit our good friend Karuz and probably the Provost. She has things she wants. That should be it, right? Oh. Maybe not. What do I do next? Important. Oh, I gotta talk to this guy. Okay. It's a dually. Alright. Let's get out of here. I know where Yerbe is. He is in Thule. There we go. I knew where I was going. I was just making sure you guys realized it too. You know, the test. That's right. In we go. Merp. Are we friends with these guys? Yes. Okay, good. Sometimes it can be a bit dicey. It's like, oh right, I forgot we're at war from like months ago. Real life months ago. Okay, I could use some of this. Oh my goodness. Really, guys? I could use some of this too. Alright. I love I'm chewing through supplies, but we're still making money, so it's fine. Alright. Hello. Julian Hochelaga? Missile spec? Nah. Alright. Horus Yerbe. Yes, do I know you? Horus Yerbe asks impatiently, his attention clearly elsewhere. Have we business? Explain that you are acting as Provost Baird's representative. Provost. Ah. Oh. His face falls. This must be about... I mean, tell me, whatever is this about? You've got his attention now. The Provost has a message if you're ready to hear it. He thinks about it. That look of resignation you've come to know from those being blackmailed by the Provost comes across his face, and you know it's already worked. Send it, he says softly, defeated. The comm line clicks to a holding pattern, displaying the ornate crest of Gen Zerabe. You watch Kazron commodity features scroll through the bottom of the display. After a couple minutes catching up on bulk non-ferrous projections, the comm display chimes. Horus reappears, looking somewhat more collected. Captain Kuraby, was it? Yes, of course. Provost Baird explained her proposal, and I do believe that we may arrive at a mutually beneficial arrangement. I shall see that you receive Yerbe diplomatic credentials. Mind yourself well with these, Captain. If you were to commit some untoward scheme using the good name of Gen Zerabe, we would declare the cryptic key stolen. And then, well, it need not be said that any decent authority would treat with you appropriately. He clears his throat, keen to move on from the topic. Of course, you have nothing to worry about. Naturally. Horus glances about uncomfortably. I trust Baird's good judgment, of course. Now, I know not what ruse the good Provost is pursuing, but if indeed you establish a line of communication directly and privately to the High Hegemon, a small smile appears on the Yerbe's face, that would be splendid. For my half of this arrangement requires the delivery of comm encryption codes to our friend Baikal Daud. One mustn't have comment snooping on important negotiations, yes? So do see that done. Sure. Alright. And let's go and visit our good buddy Daud. I would say he's dowdy, but he's really not. Like, honestly, I'm being real. Guy looks pretty good for his age of 400, whatever he is. What do you want? Pretty sure I know who you are. Meow. Can you catch me? Huh? Can you catch me? I don't think you can. I'm just too good looking for you. And in we go. Boop! After an interminable time watching Hegemony logo, the comlink connects you with what appears to be a junior cadet. You suspect they haven't even graduated from the Naval Academy. Hello, citizen, the cadet chirps at you brightly. You've reached the office of the High Hegemon. Tour bookings of the Hegemon Council campus are currently unavailable. If you'd like to know more about how you can assist the restoration of the domain, please accept the informational packet upload now. I'd like to meet the High Hegemon. I'm sorry, but the High Hegemon is unavailable, the cadet smiles blandly. I am an envoy from Gen ZRB of Kazaron, transmitting credentials now. The state change across the cadet's face as they realize you aren't some tourist is instantaneous. Affirmative, sir. The tone is military crisp now. Received and thank you, sir. I'll confirm with OpsCom. An officer will speak with you shortly. Please maintain link. This comes out. The display flickers back to the crest of Hegemony. In moments, the crest disappears and you speak with a real officer, some kind of secretary to the High Hegemon, who verifies your credentials and schedules you for a brief face-to-face meeting with Baikal Daud. Captain Kirby, I see. Yes, we can fit you in. The High Hegemon is a very busy man, but he has expressed an interest in your matter. Please forgive the ad hoc arrangement. I assure you that it is necessary. Before you know it, you have a time, a place, and a visitor passkey to present. A public map database search confirms that you have been asked to arrive at some kind of naval shipyard in orbit of Chickamostok. The officer secretary did not take time to explain the purpose of meeting at this odd venue. Alright. We'll take a shuttle. Your shuttle approaches the naval shipyard in Chickamostok orbit. The planet spins below you like a murky brown ocean. A Hegemony patrol pings your shuttle as the superstructure of the naval dockyard grows like the ribs of some gene-mod Leviathan. The visitor passkey satisfies the patrol's inquiry, and they maneuver toward the next transport on approach. The landing base still bears the faded logo of Belai Astro Group, a domain air manufacturer of heavy weapons and a key supplier to the 200th Legion. It looks like a post-collapse fragment of the corporation has taken over this asset and now contracts exclusively to the Hegemony Navy. The bay is crowded with transports overdocking the shipyard, military and civilian. Some high roller has even landed a shimmering S-type kite, much to the annoyance of the ground crews. You know, I'm pretty sure my Hyperions are much nicer than that. A young ensign checks your pass with their datapad, then leads you and your bodyguards past the crowd of civilian officials and media drones. You arrive at a checkpoint, still setting up for civilian access. The ensign indicates your guards. They will have to wait here, and, Captain, sir, you will have to leave your sidearm with an armorer. No choice. The armorer hands it to another man, not in uniform. You look him over, military bearing, subtle cybernetic augments, combat-rated civilian clothes. Revis, Hegemon Daud's chief of security, the ensign tells you. The chief of security examines your sidearm as if it were his own. With light touch, he removes the cell mag and passes it to the armorer. He returns your unloaded weapon to you. Which, that does seem like an oversight. What if I had another, cell mag in my back pocket? Just saying. Captain, he says, and with a word gives you permission to reholster your sidearm. Rivas turns to the ensign and says, I shall escort the captain to see the High Hegemon. The ensign begins to salute, but catches himself. Rivas is not military, at least not now. Then simply nods, Sir, before turning back to the landing bay. We'll follow him. We'll follow Rivas. Rivas leads you past a half-dozen checkpoints set through the guts of the shipyard. At each checkpoint, you both submit to a flicker of biometric scan, then a guard nods to Rivas and allows you both passage. Finally, you enter a utilitarian vestibule. Emergency vac suit lockers, fire suppression equipment, and safety notices line the walls. A diamond matrix pane separates this compartment from the enclosed space dock visible beyond. A perfect new Eagle-class hull looms, and a gantry hangs toward its bow. festooned with ribbons and the Hegemony banner. Rivas steps to the side, his bulk revealing High Hegemon Baikal Daud sitting on a simple folding stool, his splendid uniform coat hanging from a rack, fussed over by a stylist and advisor. Daud looks at you impassively, then, without breaking eye contact, commands his entourage. Give us the room. 5 minutes. They leave, Rivas following after meeting your eyes one last time. I thought you'd be taller. He smirks and stands. The angle of the hollows like that. Say it's for image. His voice holds a deep authority, however, and though you've heard it in holocasts, with just a few words in person, you can feel why and how he leads the hegemony. Daud taps his datapad, activating a privacy field that dulls the ambient murmur of the shipyard's ventilation. How's Provost Anahita Baird's project going? He asks. Have bridged any gates? Working on it. I know, he says, and lifts a bottle of spirits from out of a small box. By Jus from Eventide. It looks expensive. This is for the newest member of the Hegemony Navy. Equal class. After I crack this overhaul of 0451, it'll become the Enduring Hope. How's that for a name? He pauses, waiting for your answer. Laying on a bit thick, isn't it? Probably, he says with a frown. The name is for the hegemony. All the people, you know. The propaganda ministry has a list of these things. It's not really intended for you, Daud considers. Or me. And yet. He reverses and hefts the bottle like a practice swing. Here's to hope, he says ironically. Daud sets the bottle down. You're here to tell me our new provost wants to renew the old deal. She'll have to make additional concessions, isn't that right? I suppose you'll want to provide me with details? He taps his datapad, opening a channel for you to upload the relevant material Baird provided. Upload those documents. As you complete the connection with your datapad, Daud speaks. What we did to Kalator was justice. He risked the entire Galatia system. Hundreds of thousands of citizens. That might be just one subsector of just one metroplex down there. He waves vaguely in the direction of Chickamaustock. But, his voice hardens, I will not allow any grand experiments that endangers these people. I expect Baird realizes that any misstep will be met with the overwhelming force of the Hegemony Navy. She's not stupid, he says thoughtfully, looking at the cruiser through the diamond matrix pane. But ambition can make a fool of anyone. He turns fully toward you. Do you trust Baird? No, not at all. Good, he says simply. I am of similar mind. Nonetheless, he puts a hand to his chest. Here too am I, entertaining her envoy. Tell Baird I accept, he says. She'll be receiving additional demands. She won't like them. She will accept. He turns, pacing. The gates are the question behind the entire hegemony, are they not? Is the domain out there waiting to reward those who kept faith, blindly loyal for generations? He stops. Or was there some grand catastrophe, and nothing waits us but ruins and the dead? Or will monsters from Lud's own nightmares pour out to devour us all, unless we are armed and steadfast, ready to meet their threat? Captain, I need to know if we are history's fools or heroes. Not few among my comrades would say it is disloyal, even cowardly to ask the question. He faces you. I think it is cowardly not to. All my busy helpers will be back in a moment, so make it quick. Did that Yarbe Blue Blood want anything important? Let's see. We'll give the cryptic keys. I'll listen to what he has to say, Daud says, and offers his datapad. You upload the cryptic keys. I trust the Airbase to do what is best for the Airbase, he says, tapping at the datapad to accept your upload. Maybe that'll be enough. He looks over to Hull 0451. Or maybe it won't. I want to put a good word in for him. He desires peaceful reconciliation. Of course he does. Gen Zierbe is only a minor stakeholder in the shipyards of Kazaron, and holds major cross-faction investments. Daud smiles coolly. But I will take the good word of Baird's knee-breaker under advisement. Daud glances at his datapad. You've got 20 seconds, Captain. Any last words? That's everything. Viscount Daud taps the datapad, dropping the privacy field. As if on cue, the Hegemon's small entourage returns with a babble of worries over how he'll look on the holocast, the need to review talking points for the speech, and his uniform. Security Rivas looms, corralling you from the gantry, utility room, and back through the security checkpoints to your shuttle. Whew, okay, all that reading. It is time to go and finally do something else about these darn gates. My goodness. Turn around. There we go. Alright. Now we should go talk to Cruz and or Baird. Hey, there's our exclamation point. Baird, my buddy, my pal. Oh, I mean, Baird. Yes. Baird taps at her desk console. With the gate scans completed and Daud's assurance that the Hegemony will not interfere, we may proceed to the implementation phase. The Provost allows herself a small smile as she turns to you. This is Scylla's moment, of course. Let me link her in. Provost Baird. Captain Kirby, Cruz greets you. Explain the Janus device, Baird says, for the captain here. She looks nervous. The prototype device, she begins. Yes, in the, broad strokes to scan for the gate aperture, we direct a self-modifying phased hyperwave pulse which causes a resonation in lower dimensions which... She looks up from the protected schematic and notices she's losing her audience. Let's skip ahead to the application section. Schematics flicker through several labyrinthine arrangements and settle on an action flowchart. Here we are. The principle of the Janus prototype is similar to the scanner, but far more energetic. By tuning the pulse to the unique resonant signature of a particular gate aperture, one might, theoretically, activate that link. A second input would then target a known gate egress, though avoiding destructive interference in the manifold is tricky. Oh, that isn't her stuttering. It's actually called a Calabaya Yao. Oh, I thought she was stuttering. So this would reopen the gate network. Baird cuts in. Not exactly. Thank you for your attention to detail, Scylla. But if I may summarize, at this level of energy input, a temporary link should be created between the two gates. The probe gets a distant look. Then, with sufficient energy and stable resonance injected into the entire gate system... This time, Cruz interrupts. But the data, it shows that the system, the resonance, it is fundamentally chaotic. There are clearly some factors. We're seeing results the model doesn't account for, and at higher magnitudes, the results could be... She searches for words, some way to bind chaos and destruction into quantified language. That's enough. Academician, Bard says forcefully. The captain is a highly skilled professional and doesn't need to hear all this to do their job. Academician, what exactly does chaotic mean in this context? Baird turns to you, leaving Cruz cowed. Academician Cruz will return to work refining the details as more data is gathered. As a great man once said, technological advance is an inherently iterative process. Captain, she says, the first prototype Janus device is being transferred to your fleet. Test it on a gate manifold you have scanned. Record everything with your sensor suite and the modified instruments we have provided. This may be the most important experiment in the history of the Persean sector. The manifold, of course. Cruz speaks up one last time. Just don't use it in an inhabited system. Like the incident with when Kalachor, the Hegemony, it wouldn't be good. Thank you, Baird says acidly, for the reminder, Academician. The Provost turns to you now. Obviously, we shall not repeat my predecessor's mistake. Test this somewhere quiet. She turns from the holo display a dismissal. I wait your results, Captain. And Baird terminates the comms. I think we can talk to Scylla. After a short wait, your connection request is accepted. Hello, Captain, Cruz says, her attention on a flickering bank of holographic data tables. I'm sorry I'm so busy. What is it you need? Should I be worried about this Janus prototype? Several emotions cross Cruz's face all at once. Captain, all science is... She sighs. No. I can't do this. What's going on? Look, the Provost told me what to tell you and not tell you. She was very clear about her objections to my attitude, about questioning her leadership. And here I am at the Glacier Academy. The Hegemony still has a warrant out for my arrest, to say nothing of the League or Lud help me at the Pathers. She's got me, Cruz says. She takes another deep breath before looking back into the holo display. I wouldn't send you out with this prototype if I thought for sure it was a death trap or something. That's all I can say. She looks down and reaches to terminate the comm link. Hesitates. And, good luck? Yeah. Thanks, pal. Alright. Gates. Pick a gate, any gate. It does get a little dicey. You probably don't want to do Freya, but Kikatiluk should be okay. Let's go here. Now, this is, normally, I would recommend, very much so, leaving, like, all but one ship at home, and taking this very carefully, because you're going to incur some repair costs. However, there is a bit of a sneaky way to make this a lot less damaging and scary. Here we are. And that is to make sure you're like right on the gate. You want to be touching the gate. About like that. Okay? And then you want to hit transverse jump. Wait till you get to about 3/4. Like that. Hit the gate. And use the Janus prototype on the gate. Boop! So, you know immediately that something is wrong. The hyperspace manifold display lights up with garish colors and violent whirls and jags. The presentation's color key glitching out on parameters beyond any anticipated scale. You hear a discordant tone, the hyperspace storm alarm, weirdly sounded here in normal space. And something else. Echoing somewhere which exists only in your mind, like a wail of pain. Your census officer shouts a warning. Wavefront approaching! And we're out. So normally what you would see is a big old green explosion, and all of your ships would be damaged to like 5% or 10% CR. And so it's really expensive, because it's like, I mean, it takes so much money to repair that damage. So, yeah, neat little trick. Save yourself some cash and some hassle, and just get out. So now we can go and yell at Karuz, like, hey, you almost killed us. But we happen to have the power of great foresight. And zip out of there first, before anything bad happens. Alright. The station comms connect to the office of the Provost with no delay, and your navigation officer forwards link to your command interface. She was waiting. Tell me what happened. Baird's tone is as cold as vacuum. Karuz is already on the link, looking paler than usual. You get the distinct feeling that the Provost knows very well what happened. I've seen worse. What's plan B? Baird knows her eyes at this. Plan B is we recalibrate the device using the data you've gained from the experiment. Then we try again. Karuz begins to speak, then thinks better of it. She looks ill at the thought. Baird turns to Karuz. Academician, when will the next iteration of the prototype be completed? I don't, she starts. We need more time. Academician, Baird begins, a warning. Karuz interrupts. I'm a theoretician, not an engineer. This isn't a matter of just fitting pipes or aligning aircraft plates. What we're doing is completely new, and our engineering process is primitive. We're scientists trying to assemble the equivalent of a new hyperspace or hyperdrive in a teaching workshop. Not only are the facilities insufficient, the project application falls outside my expertise. Baird visibly calms herself, but beneath her collected facade, something seethes. You do realize, the Provost says, that I am holding several Hegemony ministries at bay. They're rearing to storm and purge the Glacial Academy again. All I have on my side are the good graces of the Hive Scum Hegemon by Daud, and that is only held up by the sector-shattering promise of what the results of this project could mean. If I don't get results, the lucky ones will live out their days in some oubliette near the core of Coatl. I'm sorry you're having trouble, she says, without a trace of apology, but I am accommodating the conditions circumstances have provided. So, by all means, Scylla, take your time, Baird finishes with icy sarcasm. Kuruz starts like she wants to speak. What, Bard says, is it? I need Alyssa Zal, Kuruz says quietly. Who? Says Baird, her patience for excuses at an end. A friend, an engineer, the best hardware wizard I've ever known. Except she's, in trouble. It's a long story, but when we knew each other back in Western Est, there was... Baird interrupts the backstory. Captain Kirby, get Kuruz's friend if she thinks that'll help. Do whatever it takes, she says. Bribe, blackmail, kill. I do not care. Be smart and be quiet about it. If we get a new prototype before you find this Alyssa Zal character, we'll try that route. If not, carry on. I don't want to know the details, because I do not care. Academician Scylla Kuruz, the Provost's withering attention shifts like a pulsar beam. I don't want to hear a single non-actionable complaint until you have a new Janus prototype ready to deploy. Captain Kirby will run any of your little errands. Now, the Provost concludes, I have a meeting with a very prickly Hegemony inspector, and we're both going to pretend that we know nothing about what just happened out there. Both of you get off my comms. The link terminates. Let's see, here we go. Kuruz appears on the comms display. Captain Kirby? Hello? She takes a deep breath. Thank you for contacting me. I'm sorry about everything. Provost Baird. Failed experiment. I should never have gone ahead with it when I wasn't absolutely certain of your safety. Yes. You definitely owe me for this. I suppose I do, Captain. I can't put all the blame on the Provost. I did choose to follow her orders. Kuruz shakes her head and takes a deep breath. So, about finding Alyssa Zal, I think we need Gargoyle in on this conversation. Let me, she taps her datapad. Gargoyle appears in a flash. Scylla, girl, where have you been? The goons wouldn't let me into the lab anymore, so I snuck in when they were changing shifts. Your bright but stylistically sedated friends told me you were in some kind of important meeting, so I thought, how important could it be if I wasn't invited? So I had to ask Alvis what was going on. Can you believe it? You know how he is, all stammering and trying so hard not to lie or say anything against the old witch, and... The hacker pauses, taking in Kuruz's demeanor and yours. Oh. This is about the experiment and the exploding, isn't it? Queen Bee wasn't happy about that, huh? No, not especially. Yes, says Kuruz. No, she wasn't happy, but what's important now is that we find Alyssa. Zal? Gargoyle interrupts, looking pleased. Yes, you know her? Kuruz looks confused. Oh, yes, but please, I must apologize, Gargoyle says magnanimously. I've interrupted your story. Go on, I don't want to spoil anything too soon. Kuruz recovers her composure. Okay, yes, so I've actually been in contact with Alyssa off and on. Maybe, the captain here knows about that. The problem with Alyssa is, well, she's being held sort of prisoner by Kanta. Gargoyle nods enthusiastically at this revelation. Can you elaborate on sort of prisoner? Well, she's allowed some contact with the outside world. Privileges? Obviously, I guess, due to our arrangements. But that's all been through Kanta's organization, and then through whatever pirates owe the Kantas a favor. When Alyssa says, drop this instrument package in this orbit, if Kanta is behind her, it gets done. Alyssa can sneak some things past Kanta's people. Her work is beyond them by a long shot. Kuruz smiles with pride at this. But it's risky, and getting riskier. Kanta is a bit, she flutters her hands trying to figure out how to express it. Her reactor is a bit leaky? Gargoyle, I feel like you know something about what's going on. Oh, no, the hacker says. But yes, a little, here and there. I mean, how could I not? Zal has a reputation. She's the Zal. It would be a delight to assist in another Zal scheme. You can tell from the way Gargoyle says a reputation that this is a sign of great respect from someone who does not respect easily. What do you mean by another Zal scheme? Did I say that? Says Gargoyle. Failing to look innocent. Fine, yes. Another. Remember hacking the Aslan relay? The hacker puts on a wistful look. Zal really pulled through for me on that job. How do we get her out? I can get you in, Gargoyle says deliberately. You know, to talk, find an angle. I think that might be how to do it. I may have worked with someone who... Oh, twist my arm. Yes, it was Kanta's some, Gargoyle counts off his fingers. Fourth cousin's grandnephew or something. There sure are a lot of Kantas, aren't there? Very busy, the Kantas. Point being, I may have acquired a digital token that'll get you an audience without getting shot on sight. From there, well, you also have a reputation. Tell Kanta you'll do some work for her. You're a hot item in the dark hypernet. What with everything you've been up to lately? Is hot good? Gargoyle taps at something in your datapad chimes. Up to a point. There's hot. And there's radioactive. Right now, you're definitely hot. But you want to be careful about reaching critical mass. Yes, we certainly don't want that, Cruz adds. But this is wonderful. If Gargoyle can give you a way in, then you can somehow get Alyssa out? Maybe make a deal? I'll do whatever it takes. I don't have a lot of credits, but if it would help. We're going to do more than... we need a better plan than ask nicely. I've been keeping an ear out, says Gargoyle. You know, keeping a finger on the pulse of the sector. Basic responsibility as my role as top-of-the-line security consultant. Standard stuff. Really, keeping the Hegemon out of the networks here only takes a few minutes a day. Clean the logs, update the firewalls, stir the ICE. I can do it in my sleep. A curious mind like mine needs some stimulation, right? Sure, what's your point? Kanta's really mad about something, Gargoyle explains. Some gang of Pathers took something precious from her. She's putting out a call for the best mercs and captains. Maybe you'll answer it, the hacker says with a smile. Cruz nods enthusiastically. Yes, that could work. You'd be perfect. Why not just shoot my way in and bust Zal out? Gargoyle and Cruz look skeptical. Isn't that, Cruz looks pleadingly at Gargoyle. Dangerous? The hacker raises an eyebrow. A bold proposal, Captain. A marine assault in the stronghold of pirate warlord holed up in a former Hegemony military base was notoriously surrounded by a stealth minefield and filled with the heavy armed scum and villainy of the sector. Gargoyle ponders the problem, implants flickering with blue-green light. Can you give me any kind of tactical advantage? Security codes? Absolutely, the hacker says with glib confidence. It's not like they have a functioning civic bureaucracy to hack, so I have to make some contacts, throw some credits around. After a week or two of work, I'd give you 33 repeating % odds of... Cruz interrupts suddenly. We don't have time for that. Alyssa is... You can't... If you just shoot at the place, she might be... She blinks away sudden tears. Captain, there has to be some other way. Alright, sure, why not? We'll do it. Best of luck, he says. Alright. Let's go. I actually do want to see if we even could take them with our Marines. Although, I think it's getting about toward the end of the episode. Yes, I believe it is. So, I think we're going to call that there for now. And next episode, we will go bust out Alyssa Zal, and I believe that will be about the end of the Galatia Academy quests. So, look forward to that, everybody. But, I hope you enjoyed the episode and all the narration. Mouth is dry as a desert right now. My goodness, from all that talking. But let me know what you think in the comments, or leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed the episode. But, as always, my name is Hegemon. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.